Alright, so in this video we're going to be customizing and adding the sidebar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all of this into a div component, and in here we're going to have an aside, and we want to have this as an area label as sidebar for accessibility purposes. We also want to make sure we have a class here saying fixed. We want to have the top to the 0. We want to have left 0. We want to have C40, H screen, transition is going to be transform with a translate, X full, background of white, border R, border gray 200. And on smaller devices, we also want to make sure that we have translate set to X0 and dark BK background color gray 800, as well as a dark border gray 700. Alright, so that's basically the main part of the sidebar. So let's see what we have now. Just going to pass in a little bit of text just to see. Okay, so it looks like this. Not much of it so far. So what we want to go ahead now and do is we want to create a div in here. We want to pass through a class of hfull px3, pb4, overflow y auto, bg white, and dark bg gray 800. And then we want to add in a couple of links. So to start out with, let's having a list with a space y of 2, font medium, and just have one li in here with an anchor tag. We're going to use wire navigate. We're going to say route home, and then outside of that, what we also want to make sure we have is when we are on route is home, we want to make sure we're specifying it's the current page, and then we want to have class, and in here we want to have again the request route is home, and let's just say we have a bg gray of 900, text wide, hover bg gray 700, and nothing if it's not selected. And then we want to go in and add flex item center and a p2 text gray 900, rounded large, and a dark text wide, hover bg gray 100, and a dark hover bg gray 700, and group it. And then inside this we want to add in some icons. So in here we can essentially go into here and go to the icons page, and in here we can compose require these two, so we have all the relevant icons installed. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. While that's installing, let's type out the icons we want. We want an X icon name with a FAS.home This is font awesome I'm using here. And nothing more in here. We just want to have span with a flex 1, ms3, and white space, no wrap. And then just call this home. And obviously we don't want to say request with a $sign. We want to just say request as a function. We're not inside a controller. And there we go. So that's the first part of the sidebar. Now, outside of that, I just want to make sure that our navigation bar has the correct styling. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that now. Instead of typing it all out again, I'm just going to copy and paste this in. We have fixed the top zeros and set 50 with full, same background color. The only difference is really that we're having all of this here. Then inside app.blade.php, I'm going to get rid of the header because we do not need that in this course. And I'm also going to make sure that we have some spacing in our main slot. So we want to say space P4 MT20 and a small screen ML64. And then inside the navigation, to make sure this shows properly, again for the side, also just want to make sure that we pass through a C. $50. Perfect. So this is pretty much done now. You could add a bit more spacing potentially. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that all of this is properly typed out. And there we go. So this looks a bit nicer now, with all of this a bit better typed out. So now that we've gotten rid of that, let's just make sure that we're also having the correct styling in app.css. And I'm just going to go ahead and change the background color of the body. And just check why this is showing here some space here. So we have this I'm going to pull down on the side. And let's just see what's going on here. So just going to go ahead and inspect this element here. Maybe it's because we inside the dashboard have this background color of white here. And inside the home page, we have just this div here. So let's go ahead and make sure we have the specified here. Get rid of the slot because we don't need that anymore. And outside of that, I just want to also change a little bit of styling inside here, the navigation. So we have it all the way out to the side here instead. And we don't really need the responsive navigation anymore because that's going to be on the sidebar. And then we're also having an error here because we didn't close this properly. So let's just double check why this is happening. So we I have this anchor tag here. Problem though is that we are not closing this correctly. Alright then, that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching it, and I'll see you in the next one.